Hello dear friends, best greetings from Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine. We start our evening show and today I switch on my video stream on computer as well. Hello my dear friends, best greetings from Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine. My name Victor Fursov, I am a research entomologist, beekeeper and teacher. Entomologist, it means the scientist who is studying insects and studying the science of insects. This is entomology. And of course I am zoologist. I am working at the Institute of Zoology of National Academy of Sciences and I am located now in Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine. So welcome to my channel. You can watch different interesting videos about behavior, about morphology, about relations of different insects, not only insects, some spiders, some other invertebrates, different interesting creatures which are living all around us, near houses, inside your house, in your collection, just even in your bathroom, in your kitchen, in your dining room, in your garden, in your orchard, so and of course in a park, in natural environments as well. So I'm recording my original videos and I'm showing them on my channel. And of course, welcome to watch it and write your comments. You can write your comments even now during this stream. And today I will not be showing you just collection. Yesterday I was talking about collection, but I will show you just part of my collection. This part of collection is devoted to European hornet, very big and slightly aggressive, predaceous wasp hornet, biggest wasp in the European part of, not in Asia but in Europe. So Asian hornet, which is located now in Middle Asia, in Asian part of China, in Indonesia, in Malaysia, still not existing in Europe. In Europe there are two species, or maybe even three species. Two species are introduced, invasive species. One came just recently, Oriental hornet from Middle East, and one is small Asian hornet, Vespa velutina, and European hornet, which is here in my collection, Vespa crabro. Small Asian hornet is very dangerous invasive species, which is just antagonist to European hornet, like here, but nevertheless they are existing together in France, in Belgium, Italy, Spain, and even small Asian hornet came just to United Kingdom, to Britain, already came to Germany. We don't know where it is now because of this situation in Ukraine, and we don't know about some scientific observations in Europe precisely, and we are not in the position to make some scientific expeditions and travels to check it in the natural conditions. So maybe small Asian hornet just spreading now around Europe more actively because of so high migration of people all around Europe and also movement of different transportation system. So let's see what's going on in the future years. But today I will be talking about European hornet, Vespa crabro, which is common in Europe, in Ukraine and other neighboring countries. And this hornet also slightly, I would say, aggressive, because if you're trying to get rid of these hornets, to get rid of its nest, you will be attacked, because you are trying to destroy the nest of a hornet. So hornets will be protecting the nest, definitely. Where we can do this nest, always European hornet trying to make nest somewhere in a hidden place, somewhere under the roof, somewhere in the hollow tree, in the park, in a garden, just even in the park in a city. I collected some hornets near my building, near my apartment in the city. It was just hollow inside the old tree, and it was small nests which still existed till the October. So finally it was just sprayed with some insecticides, I guess, and all nests died. But maybe some queens spread around. So if you're trying to get rid of these hornets and to add the spray or to do some activities with nest, better to invite professionals, better to invite people who can help you. At least you can ask beekeepers, because beekeepers, they have beekeepers equipment, just a mesh, just strong leather gloves on hands, and some protections on clothes, protectional clothes. So that's why if you are trying to cut the bee nest of a hornet, you will be attacked and painfully stung. Because sting of hornet is pretty big, about 5 millimeters long, and you can recognize here on this picture so many hornets will come to you for protection of a nest. Definitely they will attack you because this is their instinct. And today I will show you some hornets in their natural environment, on their nest. Just let's go. I'll show you videos which I recorded at the stream, and we'll explain what's going on this video. Yes, you see here, you see video which I recorded some years ago, and this is part of the nest. Actually, some layers with cells of hornets. Hornets are having the temporary nest only for one season. If you found nest in the summer season, this nest will be with hornets. If you found the nest with somewhere in the winter time under the roof or somewhere in a small house, usually in our part of the world it will be no hornets inside. They are not overwintering inside the nest, they are spreading, flying around. But this video is done in August time. So these are cells which are done from the wood, from cellulose, with material which is produced by workers, hornets. And here we're just a little bit afraid. We're sitting and waiting for a certain period because we're just hatched. You've seen just on the right side some cells with small opening, because all these white cells, these are cocoons of hornets. On the top of the video you see small black dots. These are mandibles of new hornet. New hornet is coming out from the cocoon. So, and on the right side also, when another hornet is trying to penetrate the cap of a cell of a cocoon, and will come very soon. So hornets are cutting the silky cocoon with mandibles and coming out. All these hornets are females and they are workers, so they can sting, but they are not flying, you see here around, because they're a little bit young. They are young, they're sitting more or less peacefully, but I'm very careful for this recording, because after maybe 3-5 days in isolation, they will be more aggressive because their shells will be hard. So now their wings are just very soft. They cannot fly very quickly because they are very young. But after 3-4 days, they are becoming already normal adults with strong wings, with strong body, not soft wings, can fly easily and will fly around to the cage. So I will not be able to open the cage to show it, only with very young adults, youngest of them. Some cells here just already empty because here they probably they were with larvae, because probably larvae just died, or just I put them out, so you cannot see silky cocoons as well. But in some cases, workers were removing cocoons, and used old cells for new larvae. You see here, they like to check cells. I know some workers also in captivity and in normal situation, they also hiding inside the cell, coming inside the cell with forward with the head and just only the top on the right side you see only the top of the abdomen with sting just visible. So they're quiet, so not nervous, so they're not trying to escape. But here I didn't have queen, because they just flew around my collected nest, and I visited a village to help some villagers to get rid of the original nest. Did it very carefully. I collected all these parts from the nest. I mean, all these cells, layers, all these parts which is done from the wood. Cellulose is done by hornets, because they're chewing very carefully by their mandibles the wood from the branches of trees, from the cork. They're making kind of a, not wasps, but kind of wooden cells. So that's why all the nest is just done from the cellulose, like paper. So that's why sometimes they're called paper wasps. So their nest is done from the natural plant's paper. It's quite easy to keep them inside the cage and feed them with some honey and water. So that's why they will survive for a certain period of time. They can hatch part by part from the cocoons. You see on the right side, on the left side, one individual is just coming from the cocoon, and especially in autumn time or in late summer, new drones, males, also will hatch from these cocoons. So quite many drones, males, will come from cocoons, and they are very safe, because drones, they have a long antennae when they have males' genitalia, and drones are not stinging. But these are workers, they are normal workers. I will not be trying to touch them by my finger, because they can be very active and can sting painfully. So better be very, very careful. I'm not experienced stinging of these hornets for myself, so I didn't want to get this crazy experience. That's why I was very careful about them. Do not make them noisy and too much active. So that's why they're, you see, slightly like lazy. They're not crawling around, they're just very quiet. Just for the case of recording this video. Here I gave them some drops of honey and they're busy. Only one on the left side is just making the hole in the cocoon. And now I show you some others, the continuation of this video, where you can see how they're actively feeding on drops of honey. When they see drops of honey, we're sitting here again on cocoons. One cells here all around. These are all cocoons. Inside cocoons are drones, males, or just queens, females, or maybe workers were also females. All the workers are females, as it is in the social wasps and in social insects like hornets, and also in the honeybees. But drones are males. Here I gave them some drops of honey. On the left side you see open cells with some larvae. But keeping such part of a nest in artificial conditions is quite difficult, because some of these wasps, some of these hornets will feed each other, both between them. But they are not able already to feed larvae, because you cannot give them just artificially any food, because they need to have some proteins from which is done protein from any meat of insects, or just artificially. If you can try to feed them with meat, they cannot understand why they are closed. We need to go for meat, for collecting it outside. So all larvae should be fed also with meat. So that's why larvae is becoming hungry and dying very quickly. Inside the nest, they will not feed larvae in artificial hive. So that's why larvae in cells are suffering very much. But also adults hornets, they're very hungry usually, and so they're very happy if you give them just some drops of honey, as I did here, just so you can recognize yellow drops. This is a honey, so they're just shivering and sucking honey very much, very happy about it. Again, these are also young hornets, so they're not so active, so that's why they are not flying around the cage. After a few days, they're becoming stronger and will be very active and will not pay attention even to food. But if you just touch the cage, even with a lid, they can start to move and can fly around. So better don't open the lid, because they can escape and maybe just accidentally can sting, and it's quite painful. So better to be very careful with observations of hornets. Some people like to be stung by hornet, but I don't like the sting, so better to don't do it. So you see, they're very happy about honey. When I collected the nest, just I opened the nest and I recognized there are many, in August time there were many queens, already new young queens in the nest, and they were just flying around. Or queens were not flying, queens were mating near the nest, and also they were hiding inside the nest. Usually workers were flying and trying to be aggressive and attacked me. So I collected them very carefully, but queens were trying to escape. They were always hiding somewhere between all these cells inside the nest, inside this wooden nest, paper nest. And it was necessary to collect them very carefully. But queens are bigger, and in autumn time, or just in late summer, they're flying around the nest. They're coming outside of the nest for mating. They're mating near the nest and then flying around to the forest, to the park, and just finding some suitable place for hibernation. Hello to my friend from France who just joined us. They're becoming hiding somewhere between leaf litter, somewhere under the bark of tree, and so they can easily to survive the frost, -10, -15 in the European part. And so even some other Asian places can survive very strong temperature, because European hornet is widely spread from Atlantic Ocean till the Japanese Sea. So here we are just feeding. So after hibernation, a queen will be waking up in the springtime, somewhere in the early April, in May, and just one queen, each queen will be searching around for suitable place for new nest, some hidden place somewhere beneath the tree, somewhere in a hollow tree, somewhere under the roof, somewhere just in a closed small building, in a dark place. We do not prefer open place. We do not like place with light. Usually we prefer just place in a dark area, like under the roof somewhere, in garage, also in a dark place. And queen starts the nest from the first wooden nest and then just growing slowly, making several nests, and new workers are hatching. First workers, new workers are making new cells, then again new cells, and just the nest of a hornet extremely enlarging and becoming a very big one and growing slowly. Yes, you see on the left side, this is a larva, but larva doesn't eat honey, so we're not feeding her with honey. Larva should receive only the meat, only sugared, just disintegrated piece of meat from the body of some insects usually. Or you can feed some workers even with meat of a chicken outside, so we can cut small pieces of chicken and bring it to the nest and for feeding larvae. But inside the closed nest, we are not making this kind of a feeding behavior. We are just becoming, we cannot use this instinct of feeding. We cannot understand the situation why we cannot escape from the cage. As I told, small Asian hornet is antagonist to European hornet, smaller than this one. European hornet is brown and yellow with black stripes on the body, but small Asian hornet is smaller size, but with different coloration. Most part of body is dark black color with small red tip of the abdomen. And the disadvantage of a small Asian hornet, Vespa velutina, is very aggressive for honeybees and can collect honeybees as their food much more actively rather than European hornet. And the second disadvantage of small Asian hornet, that small Asian hornet do like different places and very adaptive. So you see here, two individuals were feeding each other, touching each other with antennae, clicking each other, and one hornet is feeding another hornet, just from stomach of one to the tongue mandibles of another one. So this process is called trophallaxis, exchange by food between two individuals. As I said, small Asian hornet, which is smaller size but more adaptive, can make nests in different places. So European hornet prefers some hidden places and in dark places, but small Asian hornet can do the nest in any place, on the tree, somewhere in the middle part of tree, just on the beneath of tree, under the tree in a hollow place, under the roof of house, somewhere inside open place, inside the car on the stop, so in hot summertime, under the car, just near the house, just very close to a human being, just near veranda of your summer house. So small Asian hornet, Vespa velutina, does not afraid people, so and very, very adaptive. So, and making very big nest size, not only like a saucer ball, just one ball like this, but even like half of body of humans with a very heavy weight, up to 30-40 kilograms of a whole nest. And if this nest is done somewhere on branches of tree, sometimes this nest can fall down because of a heavy wind, for instance. And so wasp flew around, and it's trouble for people around this area. Again, you see here, we're just feeding each other. That's why there are some measures how to get rid of these small Asian hornets in France and other countries. But unfortunately, during the last 10 years, small Asian hornets spread all around France, and now it's a real danger for beekeeping activity in France and other countries as well, neighboring countries, because small Asian hornet is very aggressive regarding honeybees. Small Asian hornet is collecting adults of honeybees near the beehives and bringing these small honeybees, which are twice smaller than hornets, to the nest for feeding the larvae. And the larvae are very happy with honeybees, which are very small and they have no protection at all. If some Asian honeybees can protect themselves from hornets, because they are making kind of a protection, they are hitting hornets inside beehive. But European honeybees, Apis mellifera, has no protection at all from hornets. Sometimes very hungry European hornets can also attack honeybees, but not so much. They're very, very peaceful in comparison with small Asian hornets. So you see here, this is a part of a nest of European hornet with white cells. These are all cocoons, silky cocoons on the upper side. Probably one male, one female was trying to come out of the nest. You see here on the top, here this is a larva inside the cell, very hungry and very poor larva, which is even not so active, because very hungry maybe for a few days, so become very weak. And all these hornets are just trying to feed on honey, which I gave them just for food. So that's why we were leaving several days for experiment and for recording this video. And we were more or less peaceful for recording. So, but I do not advise you to make such kind of experiment, because it needs some knowledge how to deal with hornets, how to keep them carefully, because otherwise hornets are very active. They can move very actively, they can escape from the cage. So, and you can be under the danger to be stung by hornets, because some people have can be very sensitive, and hornets stinging very painfully. Of course, some people say that hornet sting can kill even the horse, but no, of course, this is exaggeration. Not hornet doesn't kill the horse and doesn't kill the human being immediately, but some people can be very sensitive and allergic. Allergic to the wound can be very big in comparison with honeybees. Some people are sensitive even to honeybees, even to one sting of a honeybee. But hornet is twice bigger than honeybee, so that's why the sting of European hornet is painful. Try to be very careful. Do not touch them, do not provoke them, do not use this stick to kill them, do not put the stick inside the nest just for curiosity, because workers of hornets are very clever. They can just follow you some meters, even hundreds of meters, and sting you just in your neck or in your back as well. Just after 50 meters or hundreds of meters, you will be running out of the nest, and they will be still flying for you, because they can recognize who was just attacker of their home nest. That's why be careful about them. Do not worry. Do not touch the nest in the daytime, especially. Maybe in evening time, in night time, we cannot recognize who is active, who just trying to destroy their nest. But in daytime, we can be very active. They can attack you very easily. So this was a movie about hornets, with some comments about them. So write in under this video if you have seen hornets near your house. Do you afraid of them? If you don't worry about them, write in comments. Do you like them? Maybe some people like hornets because they're really very beautiful. Their morphology, they're very careful. And if you stay just peacefully near the nest, like I did just in a city, in evening time, I recognize that hornets are bringing the food even in twilight, just after the sunset. It was already no sun in the sky. Sun just coming down, and in twilight time, somewhere like a gray skies, about the time of 9 p.m., just half 5 or just 10 p.m., just already gray skies. But some still hornets are flying around the nest, not flying around to the nest. They're coming directly to the entrance to the nest, talking with a guard soldier near the opening of the nest, and coming inside, bringing some food in mandibles very quickly. In the gray time, in the twilight time, difficult to watch it. But still, if you can come closely to the entrance, guards, just soldiers of hornets, just come in immediately and looking around. Who is coming? Who is coming? Just we are not flying immediately. Do not attack you immediately if you are careful. So we just look around who is provoking them and just coming back inside the nest. But if it is the daytime and hot time, like middle of day, wasp will be very active, so can fly out of the nest and can attack easily. So be careful with hornets and any species of wasp during your observations and during collecting as well. So because hornets are very clever, wasp can attack quickly, can fly very quickly. So and if you can be attacked and stung, okay, in this case you need to use some pills, some antihistamine drugs, just to drink some drugs to reduce wounds if you have been stung, because it is painful, so be careful about that. So thank you for your curiosity about wasps. So better to show them on screen rather than to observe them directly in the nest, because this is a rare case. Before this video I have not observed them myself because I never opened the nest, but I had experience of opening the nest, several of them. In some cases I didn't have a camera, I didn't catch the moment of opening the nest, but in some later I collected few nests myself and I used camera for recording the nest and wasp directly in the nest, and I have these videos deposited on my channel, like life of hornets, not in captivity but in natural environment. So several, it was like a long series, about maybe 10-15 series chapters of video were deposited on my channel. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you, Andrew, as well. Good luck and see you soon on my channel. Hope to show you more videos about insects if we will have electricity on, because yesterday, a couple of days ago, it was a break of electricity and I needed to change the time of my stream 3 hours later. So this stream was in good conditions with not break of electricity, and fortunately just more or less quiet situation in our city. But still Ukraine in a war, so that's why we need to give best wishes to our army, because they are fighting for Ukraine, and we say Ukraine forever. Good luck, see you soon on my channel. Bye bye. Write your comments, ask your questions, and welcome to be patron, and Ukraine forever. I show you big tongue, so saying good luck, see you soon, and best wishes. Bye bye. Subscribe to my channel. My assistants just fall down. Good luck.